Alright, yo, what up? This is your all shook up. Just making another build video of the Necro Warden, Warden Necro, Blast Bones. This has got to be one of my favorite builds. Now, it's utilizing sets that I use for my pure Warden. So I was trying to make a build, something where you don't, let's say you watch my other video, you like the kind of build, but you don't really want to farm too many sets and you don't want to deal with this. This utilizes a lot of the sets that I've already used. This has got to be one of my favorite builds. It hits extremely hard. It's extremely tanky. And, to be honest, it's super fun. I really, really, really enjoy this build. But before we get into the build, I just want to say thank you guys so much. I cannot appreciate you guys enough. Almost 2K. Let's go. Thank you so much. So let's get into the build. Now, a couple things I changed on this build was I had to switch some of the damage things because it's a little different. So with my back bar, I got 32,393 spell resistance, physical 31,667, 25 critical. Then 1,000 stamina recovery, 976 magicka, but that goes up because of the sets I'm using. And and then my max stamina 26 361, max health 35,804, can't speak, max magicka 19,527. So now if we look at the front bar, the front this build is very impressive. I gotta say, this thing hits extremely hard. So we got 5,000 flat damage, 24.4, 7,889. But with blast bones, you got to remember that goes up to almost 12k, 11 something. That hits extremely hard. 26 in the front, 25 on the front, 23. You guys see the stats: 25,901, 35,260, 19,427, 992, and 1,000 stamina recovery. So this thing hits hard. And like I said, 41 into health, 23 into stamina, using the warrior, bewitched sugar skulls. You cannot, literally, I love this. You could use smoke bear haunch, but I would highly recommend this. So let's get into the skills. Now, we have to use blast bones on the front. It hits so hard. It is ridiculous of how hard this thing hits. When you land a dizzy swing and you land this and you land that and you land this, so you're literally landing a dizzy. Well, you're charming them, landing a blast bones, landing a dizzy, landing deep fissure, boom, hitting him with a dawnbreaker. It's over. It's already on YouTube. If you land this, they are dying. I promise you, they will die. Anybody that lands all four of those together, bam, it's over. They're dead. There's no one surviving that in the game. You're going to die. But like I said, blast bones, healing contingency, dizzy swing, executioner, deep fissure, dawnbreaker. Now, remember, your stats are going to go up. Now, I got to get one more into damage over time effect, and it just makes your dawnbreaker or your northern storm hit even harder. But, literally, Gravelord ability, this right here makes your penetration just through the roof. And if you switch to Northern Storm, it's really going to bring up this damage over time effect by 10%. So you're going to be able to do Northern Storm, Blast Bones, Dizzy, Deep Fissure. It is very nasty, right? And for the back bar, good old Vigor never fails you. You got, Polar Wind, very strong heal. You got Blue Betty. I love this, with the negative effects and increases your damage if nothing is cleared. I mean, you can't complain with that. Then you got Ice Fortress, super strong, major protection. And then, Deceptive Predator. This right here is actually very, very, very strong morph. I really, really like this morph. It really helps with mitigating damage. So you don't need as much tankiness. You can really focus on some damage. And this Bell Wall, this is just crutch right here. Now, I heard to put this on the front, or is it put it on the back? There's a little thing that I've been working on with this Colossus. Really hits extremely hard on this build. So I'm also a orc. I know I always forget to tell people that. Orc, main reason, speed. You know what I mean? And it really helps. And also, you can go on the offense. When you do damage, you heal for 2,160. This is for every 4 seconds. So this really is strong, right? And then you get a little max stamina, so you can't complain. And I don't know why you would want it, but, if you're new to the game, look at the inspiration you get from crafting. So, with that said, now we get into the sets, which you guys should already know. Yes, Essence Thief. It is extremely strong. This is one of the strongest sets in the game for sure. I run Sharpened on it, and I run the weapon enchantment. Increase your weapon and damage, spell damage by 348. This brings your damage even higher up. It gives you for new players. It gives you max stamina, weapon damage, and then just look at the rest. Deals damage with a light or heavy attack essence from the enemy that pulls near them for 5 seconds. Drawing the pull heals for 4,430 health, restores 4,356 stamina, increases your damage done by 10% for 10 seconds. This right here is why you can get away with so much offense. Imagine you're fighting with orc, you're hitting, you're hitting, you're getting healed for 2,000 every 4 seconds. Then you're also getting healed 4,000. Do you see how much healing and then polar wind and vigor is just going off constantly? It's like you have 4 heals. You see what I'm saying? And it's really really strong, extremely strong. And then you get resources on top of that and damage. I mean, come on. So you have to run this. This has got Green Lantern build. I don't know what to call this. This is absolutely insane. I love this build. Got to throw Wretched Vitality on there. You get defending on the back bar. It says recovery, stamina. Recovery, stamina, magicka. Weapon and spell damage. Now, that helps with the healing. But while in combat, apply a major debuff with a duration to a target you gain. You get 260 magicka and stamina recovery for 15 seconds while combat. Applying a minor buff or debuff with a duration to target grants you 130 magicka and stamina for 15 seconds. So this is just an extremely strong set. I like to run defending on the back. And then, I like to run multi-chat on the shield and impin on the, trait. And then poison on the back. I like this one because if I hit him, it kind of slows him down, lets me line up everything I want. So personally, I really like this. This is a cool little thing. But there is a better poison. I'm just trying to farm the stuff to make that. That poison is actually cracked out of its mind, the other one. So once I get that, I'll let you guys know. And then just to really punish people, Balorgs. It is actually insane. Multi-chat, in pin. I do recommend that if you have heavy, run heavy on the helmet. I just don't have it and I don't want to farm it. But we all know what this does. Look at it. Just read it. It's actually insane. If you stack this with what you got, the in pin, I believe your penetration is like 20k or 20 plus k. Then you have, you got like a 17k dizzy swing or 20. It's really broke. Like it hits so hard. Well, I don't want to say broke, because broke would mean it's just overpowered, but that's not true because I've died to people before. So it's not broke, but it really, really hits hard. Extremely, extremely hard. And like I said, I'd run heavy if you can, but I don't have it. Chest, heavy, trainee. I like to keep the increased mana stone, get that 5,000 flat damage. You got that 954 max health. Then you get the other line of max health. And then I would run this medium instead of heavy. But you get the I run the stamina on it with the reinforced, bring up the value of the armor, and then waste just stamina, divines, bring that damage up, and then I have that's a medium, and then I have heavy hands. Like I said, I could go heavy here. Like I would prefer this to be heavy and possibly heavy and then medium, but I just don't have the traits, so I go 2 medium, pretty much rest heavy, and then 1 light, just so I can have 3. I just kind of like to have 1 light just to have that extra penetration. Now I'm debating on putting heavy, but I really found a lot of use out of this. And then we got heavy legs, tri-stat, impin, and then light feet, tri-stat, divines, boost that up for you. Now, like I said, you could change maybe this to boosting your armor, but I felt like this, having that 5,000 damage was perfect. Once you hit them with the thing, you get 5,500. Then you got some, You know, with the Betty, your weapon damage can go as high as about, you know, with Balor's and everything, you're looking at almost 7k weapon damage. Plus, you get 10%. I mean, this thing just really, really slaps. And then what I like to do is the Necklace of Essence. You got 174, you know, multi-chant to 174 spell and weapon damage. And then you got the 10 magical recovery, which I don't know why they do that, but I guess that helps. And you got Swift with speed. Same thing here. But I like to run bloodthirsty, so once they're under 90%, you know, I could really finish them. Pause, but finish them off. You get what I'm saying. Don't get too excited. But yeah, bloodthirsty is huge on this. I love Mark of Majesty, one of the best mythics in the game. You could use Death Dealer's Feet. You could use a new mythic. You could almost use whatever mythic you want on this build. But I really, really recommend Mark of Majesty. If you don't have it, Death Dealers, you don't have that. Saint Seducer, you don't have that. The other one. And if you don't have any of these, I just recommend farming, you know, at this point. But that's my opinion. And then you got Essence Thief, obviously, with the rings. And you want to use Infused. I like to boost just a little bit of recovery just to really help that out. And, you know, in my opinion, this works well. You could go Swift. If you're just like, hey, I'm over recovering, run a Swift instead of Infused. And you'll be extremely fast all over the field. So, yeah, let's get into the champion points. So, in the blue tree, I got Master's Arm, Deadly Aim, Ironclad Resilience. I think those are crutch. I think those are clutch. Very good. I recommend running it just like that. You could switch it around, but, you know, I highly recommend it this way. And then for the red tree, Celerity, Survival Instincts, Pains, Refuge, and Sustained by Suffering. Like I said, this build is absolutely insane. I mean, like, seriously, when you hit... So, here's the thing. And then you really go like... I mean, it's like... I mean, just on that fact, if I can get to Dizzy Swing, it gets up to like 14k. It really... Plus Balorgs, you're looking at 16 plus k. It really hits extremely hard. And all the timing's just got to be right. You will drop stuff. Like, it's almost crazy how, like, hard you could actually hit. Ooh, forgot the Essence Thief. But just having the Essence Thief and having everything, it really does make a difference. Like, it hits extremely hard. So I'll be playing this build on Sunday. I've been able to get my Dizzy Swings up to around 16k, 16.5. It really, really does hit hard. I've seen, depending off everything goes up, depending on Cyrodiil, if you're enlightened, you get more stats, you get more. It really does, really punishes people, because even though you know, you might think, well, you know, you want, let's say, more spell resistance and physical resistance. You got to remember, you might not need as much because you're literally pulling a lot of health. So I would recommend trying this out. I tweaked it a little bit just so I could run Blast Bones. I think this is a great build. I think, you know, you guys are going to enjoy the hell out of this build. It is going to be a very difficult build to deal with on the field and Cyrodiil. So once again, I appreciate you guys so much. Can't thank you enough. And alrighty, guys, take it easy. Out.